Gabriel Jesus is one of the most talented young strikers in football today. The forward plays for London's Arsenal and the Brazil national team. He is a 2016 Olympics gold medalist, the champion of Brazil and Palmeiras, and a four-time English Premier League champion with Manchester City. For 25 years of age, it's an incredible success, but not everyone knows how many difficult challenges life threw at Gabriel on his way to these achievements. And we'll tell you about that right now. Gabriel Jesus was born in the northern part of São Paulo in the Jardim Peri district, which is located not far from the city center, but is still considered one of the poorest in the metropolis. The boy was raised only by his mother, since his father left the family immediately after his birth. Vera Lucia Diniz worked as a cleaner to support her 3 sons and 1 daughter. There was always an issue of food and survival for them, but Jesus looked for the positive in everything. Like any Brazilian boy, he spent his childhood playing football, but he didn't play on the streets or beaches of São Paulo, but on a field next to a military prison. Covered not with grass, but with ordinary mud, Gabi went there with his friends to play for the local Pequeninos team, which by the way translates as kids. The kid went to the stadium early in the morning and stayed at matches almost until night, because football was the meaning of his whole life.
Some kids had video games, and I had a ball and my imagination. And it was really cool because I had a real childhood.
But when Jesus started playing with older guys, he had a hard time. The rivals were angry that some kid was making a fool of them, and therefore they brutally hit Gabi in the feet. Some Brazilian kids with gang ties even threatened to kill him. The envious teenagers from São Paulo were ready to inflict a serious injury on Jesus and leave him no chance to make it big. But Gabriel was lucky. He paid no mind to provocations, and if it came to extremes, his best friends defended him. At the age of 13, Gabriel made his way from street football to the Anhanguera team, and 2 years later he was taken by Palmeiras scouts. In the first season for the Green Whites youth team, Jesus scored 54 goals in 48 matches. The club immediately realized that a great talent was being born before their eyes. The following season, the kid moved to the next age category team and scored 37 goals in 22 state championship games. So big clubs immediately became interested in him, and not only Brazilian ones. Realizing that Jesus needed to be kept, Palmeiras leadership moved him to the senior squad. At the age of 17, he got to the first team bench. However, the coaching staff was in no hurry to let Gabi play from the start. Palmeiras were on the brink of relegation and no one wanted to risk putting an untested youngster in a lineup when the stakes were so high. The striker was patient, but the fans were complaining instead of him. Thousands of club fans signed petitions and demanded that the young star be used in matches as soon as possible. What's interesting is that the World Cup was held in Brazil at the same time, and the still unknown Jesus tried to make his district as tidy and pleasant for tourists as possible. Together with his friends, he painted curves on the streets in the colors of his native country. But he also couldn't dream of being called up to the Pentacampeões. The 2015-16 season was Jesus' first at the professional level at Palmeiras. In his debut campaign, he played in 20 matches, scored 4 goals and made 2 assists, and also won the Brazilian Cup. This was enough for him to be recognized as the Rookie of the Year. Since then, the player began to be called up to the country's youth team, and a little later to the Olympic team, with which he won the Olympics, and finally he was invited to the senior team. At the start of 2016, at the age of 18, Gabi was already considered the country's most promising player, and Manchester City came for him at the request of the newly appointed Pep Guardiola. The English club signed a 5-year contract with the young man and paid Palmeiras €32 million. However, according to the terms of the agreement, Jesus had to delay his departure and play his last season for the Brazilian team. Excited about his transfer to the city, Gabriel had an even better season. In 2016-17, Jesus played 27 games, scoring 12 goals and making 4 assists. In addition, he scored 4 goals in the Copa Libertadores and led Palmeiras to the first victory in the national championship in 22 years. The award was not long in coming. Jesus was awarded the Brazilian Ballon d'Or, which was once won by such legends as Zico, Falcao, Romario, Ronaldinho, and Neymar. Also, before leaving Brazil, Gabi returned to that field near the prison where the Pequeninos team played and gave 250 pairs of new football boots to the kids who came there to look for their chance, as he did back in the day. Also, Jesus stayed devoted to his favela. He got a tattoo as the name of the neighborhood and took his best friends with him to England. Then came a new chapter in Manchester. The newcomer was immediately expected to show a stunning game, and Gabi gave the audience what they wanted. In his second game for the city, he scored a goal against West Ham, and in the next match, he brought the team a victory over Swansea in stoppage time. His trademark celebration immediately drew attention. Jesus put his hand to his ear, imitating a telephone conversation. He later explained his gesture.
I won't lie. When I arrived at Manchester City, I felt that I had lost everything I had. My mother had to go back and forth between England and Brazil, and it was very difficult for me to be away from her because she was everything to me. She was both a mother and a father to me. So when I score, even if she's not at the stadium, I always pick up the phone and say to her, "Hello, Ma."
The second version was invented by Man City fans on Twitter. They put Gabi's words like this.
My celebration was a message to my ex-girlfriend who didn't answer my calls at Palmeiras, but messaged me when I moved to the city.
But in the end, it turned out that this was a fake and Jesus' celebration is dedicated only to his mom. By the way, in addition to the celebration, he also got a tattoo with her image. Gabi also gives most of his salary to his mom as a sign of gratitude for a happy childhood and upbringing. Basically, everything would have been perfect for the attacker with the citizens if it were not for Sergio Aguero. The Argentinian was shaken by the appearance of a competitor in the striker position. Kun got into a crazy shape and put Jesus firmly in reserve. After spending 6 years at the city, Gabriel unfortunately did not become a starting lineup player, and it even got to the point that Guardiola completely stopped playing with a center forward. In the following seasons at the Etihad, Jesus faced a lot of problems: injuries, nutrition problems, and psychological complexes. The squandering of scoring opportunities led the forward to a severe form of self-deprecation.
When I'm not happy with myself in games, I want to shoot myself in the head. It's really hard for me,
Gabriel admitted. But the Brazilian hired the right specialists, overcame hardships, and continued to take chances, playing as a substitute. He got decent results with the Sky Blues, 95 goals and 46 assists in 235 matches. Another thing is that Jesus wanted to play more, and this summer his patience ran out. He needed to get to a place where he would be the most important link in the attack and get a stable place in the starting lineup. London Arsenal became such a place for him. The Gunners bought Gabi from Manchester City for £45 million. Jesus really rocked from the very first matches. In the preseason meeting with Celta, he scored a hat-trick and made an assist, and in the Premier League he already has 2 goals and 2 assists after the first 2 match days. Many forecasters believe that this is the season that Gabriel will have the most powerful breakthrough in his career, which will result in winning the league's Golden Boot.
I always dream, but even in my past dreams, I never thought that I'd be who I am today. And if you've reached the end of my story, I have final words for you. Never stop dreaming. Oh, and do one more thing for me, okay? Call your mom. She misses you.
Guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel and see you in the next videos.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe now.